has signed into law a law that is cited as Broadcasting Services Amendment Act, and that law would be forcing or compelling the motorist in Zimbabwe. If you have a car, you would be forced, before you pay a license disc, to first of all pay for the ZBC license for the radio. Even if you don't have a radio on your car, you would be compelled, according to this law, which was signed by Mnangagwa, into law. In fact, it is now law. We were speaking about it previously as an amendment, but guess what? Now it is a law. He has signed it, that if you are driving a car, you should pay for a ZBC license, whether you have a car or you don't have a car. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, that is the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, guess what, you become the very first one to watch us. So President of Zimbabwe, that is Emmerson Mnangagwa, has signed into law what is cited as the Broadcasting Services Amendment Act number 2 of 2025. This was done today in terms of section 131 bracket 6 bracket A of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Now, what does this law simply does to the motorist? It will affect you if you are driving a car along the road of Zimbabwe. You would have, every time you go to renew your license disc, they would not renew that license disc without first of all proving that you have paid the license for the ZBC radio. Even if you don't have a radio, they are making it compulsory for cars in Zimbabwe to have radio, and for cars in Zimbabwe to pay the license for the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. Now, in simple terms, this is a very, very mischievous actually political action to force the people of Zimbabwe to fund the propaganda machinery of the government, that is the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. This can be the only logical reason why a government may force all motorists, even those who do not. For example, I don't listen to ZBC. I've never listened. I don't wish to listen as long as it is operating under the current circumstances, where it is actually propagating the propaganda of the regime in Zimbabwe, not being a public broadcaster, but being a state broadcaster. They realized that ZBC was struggling financially to pay its workers as well as to run its programs, because people no longer watch it. People are no longer interested in it. People are now watching DSTV. People are now watching other alternative programs, or some even on their TVs. They watch us through YouTube. I mean, there is no one in Zimbabwe who is interested in ZBC, to be honestly. It is a broadcaster that is highly tainted. But guess what? Because we are ruled by a dictator, because we are led by a dictator, you would be forced, if you are driving a car in Zimbabwe. It appears like this government is making it a criminality to own a car. Now, if you own a car, automatically this is forcing people to actually to actually fund their propaganda machinery, which, by the way, they are the reasons and the causes why ZBC is always bankrupt, why ZBC is not watched, why ZBC is disrespected. Even the viewership of this YouTube channel by far better than the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation viewership, because of the content that is broadcasted through ZPC. What it is, I think I've always said that the more this guy or the more this regime continues to lead Zimbabwe, the more damage would be caused. Just imagine, even people who do not participate in politics. That's why I always tell people it's very important to participate in political activities of your country. Now, even if you don't, just imagine, caption this: you buy a car, and then now you want to renew a license disc. They cannot give you that license disc. You don't have a radio in your car. It's not even in your interest to buy that radio. But under this law that Mnangagwa has signed today, it's no longer what you were speaking, that this government is planning APCT. Now it is a law. You are compelled to abide by it if you don't do it. For example, if you don't have a ZPC license for a car radio, maybe that you don't even own, you won't be able to have a license disc. If you don't have a license disc, which means the police, if they catch you on the roads of Zimbabwe, you will be liable to pay a fine, and you can't continue to drive your car without first of all paying for the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation the radio license to be specifically in your car. So what the government of Mnangagwa is simply saying, in simple terms, if you own a car, the conditions of owning a car, you have to have a driver's license. You have to have not a driver's license, a radio license, a Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation radio license. You need to own a car, and you need to listen to their propaganda. This is forcing motorists also to listen to ZPC, the boring, not only boring but misleading Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation these days, which is actually propagating the 2030 mantra of Emerson Mnangagwa. Just imagine me listening to ZANU PF people singing about 2030 in my car, God forbid. So, unfortunately, if you are in Zimbabwe, that is actually the law of the day. It has been signed today by your president, who wants to be a life president. Can you see the consequences of taking the laws straight from the bedroom of Emerson Mnangagwa? These are consequences. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of the members of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars.